I'm shining when I ride. You could look me in my eyes, see I got it from the grind. You know I'm always high. I'm talking super fly, you could put me in the sky. I'm shining when I ride. You could look me in my eyes, see I got it from the grind.
What's up, what's going on? I wanted to do a quick ammo comparison video real quick. Some people may not be as familiar with the different calibers and different sizes in specific calibers, or different bullet weights, shall I say. So going to go a quick overview, quick run through on some of the available options and some of the more common calibers. First of all, please like, share, and subscribe. That helps defeat YouTube algorithms that target Second Amendment channels such as my own. And it goes a long way to get the content out there. And we definitely appreciate it. All of us content creators do. Well, starting off, we got the Winchester Magnum rimfire. Very first round. Smallest round. It's actually one of my favorite rounds. It's 22 rimfire, as you can see. There's no primer in there. The primer is actually in that little lip. If I can get some focus, that little lip is what will contain a primer. And that round's been around since the late 50s, really about 1960s when it came into production. Started off about a 40 grain bullet. Popular grains nowadays, 30, 40, 45. You can't get it as heavy as 50 and a little heavier than 50 also. Like I said, it definitely no primer. It was designed as a rifle caliber. One of the things that I saw was it's somewhat like a turbocharged 22 long rifle, because you got a much longer case, almost double the case. So very effective round, small game, varmint, things of that sort. Some companies have developed handguns. As you can see, the Kel-Tec PMR 30, which is my favorite handgun by far, leaps and bounds. And 30 round capacity, because it's such a small round, and it's a doozy to shoot. It's really fun to shoot. Don't be fooled by the small size. Next up, we got a 9mm, 9x19, 9 Parabellum, or 9mm Luger. Americans more commonly call it just the 9mm. It's been around since about 1902, which is actually surprising because a lot of people will testify about how old the 45 ACP is. Well, the 9mm is just as old, and it's been around just as long. Developed by George Luger for his Luger firearms. Common weights are 115, 124 grain. They can get them as high as 158 or larger, and as light as 100 grain. Newer powders and advancements in designs really have allowed the 9 to behave similar to a 45 and a 40 Smith & Wesson, with a lot more capacity, which is very popular with a lot of shooters and a lot of people. And it's definitely the world's most popular pistol round, by far. Next up, we have the 40 Smith & Wesson. Slightly larger than the 9. I'm very ashy, but that's okay. Designed in 1990. It's basically the youngest round that we have available today to talk about. Originally loaded subsonic. Common weights of 155, 165, 180 grain. Can get it as light as 135 and as heavy as 200. More energetic loads, like the P+ loads, I believe, could create hydrostatic shock on human-sized bodies, which could be devastating for anybody that round could come in contact with. Pretty popular with law enforcement for a very short amount of time. Some law enforcement officers will still carry a 40 for the stopping power and more capacity than 45, more stopping power than the 9mm, but the 9mm definitely still has the edge on popular with law enforcement. Next up, we have the low pressure round, a 38 Special, which is a very old round also. Smith & Wesson developed this round in the early 90s. It was really about 1898. Most commonly used in revolvers, some semi-automatic pistols and carbines. Majority of U.S. police from the 20s to the 90s used this round, and it's very much known for its accuracy and low recoil. Identical to a 38 short coat and a 38 long coat and a 357, so it can be safely fired in revolvers chambered in 357. 357 rounds cannot be chambered in 38 special cylinders, so be careful. Common grains, 158 the most common. Can get it as light as 110 and 200 also. Next up, we have my probably personal favorite pistol round, the 45 ACP 45 Auto. This big joker right here. Very fat, slow round. Been around since about 1905 in production, I would say. Developed in the early 1900s by John Browning. And pistols, of course. 1911 was a very popular pistol with the Army. Developed because of the low stopping power of a 38 long coat. Standard 230 grain bullet travels at about 138 feet per second out of a standard 1911. Inherently subsonic, it works very well in suppressed firearms, pistols, and carbines. 185 grain is lightweight, very lightweight for this. It's probably the second most popular weight. Specialty rounds under 100 grain are available, and over 260 grain are available also. Next, we have the 223 rimless bottleneck rifle cartridge, and your bottleneck basically will be that neck right there, a slight taper. That gives you much more ballistic efficiency from the powder burn. And this round has been around since about the mid to early 60s, started development in the late 50s, 57, just about. One of the most popular cartridges by far, semi-automatic and manual action rifles and handguns. 55 and 60 grain are your most common, most popular weights. 36, 69, 77 grain rounds are also available. This round had a firearm developed specifically for it, and it was basically the 7.62 by 51 AR-10 was scaled down by Eugene Stoner of Armalite Rifles, AR. And Air Force General Curtis LeMay was so impressed by the rifle and the round itself that he ordered 80,000 of the rifles in 1961, which would have been designated the M16. And can be fired in a 5.56 barrel, which is the cool thing about this round. If you have a 5.56 AR or AR pistol, you can fire a 223 round. Was developed by Fairchild Industries and Remington also. Let's not forget the developers of that round. Very, 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 very popular round here in the States. I like the round myself. Personally, it's really a toss-up between that and 5.56. The 223, you will have a lot more options as far as hunting and sport loads and things of that sort. Specific loads for specific things. The hollow points and things of that sort, frangibles and things of that sort. The 5.56 more so would just be your basic FMJ civilian round, and you have a 62 grain steel core, which isn't technically armor piercing, but it does give it much better penetration over the typical 55 grain bullet. Very, very similar to the 5.56, and which is my next round. Get this thing on focus. 5.56 PPU, which will be an actually imported 5.56. Let's put these things side by side. And see what kind of comparison we can get like that. Let's just take a look here. Look-see. And that makes it somewhat easier to see the difference between 223 and 5.56. Again, the 223 can be fired in a 5.56 barrel. A 5.56 is not supposed to be fired out of a barrel marked 223 because a 5.56 is a higher pressure round, meaning you can cause serious bodily harm or death if you fire this round out of the wrong barrel, which just about any round out of the wrong barrel, undersized barrel, would cause that problem. Now, the 5.56 been around since about 1980, I believe, the 80s, somewhere in the 80s. And it was basically a 223 transform. And
I asked you, where the hell did you get
a 223 transform, designated a 5.56 by 45 NATO, designed by F.N. Herstall. Now, that's something that I know a lot of people didn't know. I was not aware of that myself personally. Did not know that, I believe German company, could be wrong there, but if a German company made that round or designed that round.
What did you say?
The new round was 62 grain FMJ with a 7 grain steel core for better penetration. Hence our 62 grain steel core armor penetrating round. That's not armor penetrating, but hey, civilians can buy it here, so we'll take it. Very similar to the 223. The shoulder and neck are different. 5.56 cases are slightly thicker due to higher pressures, and as I said, should not, by any circumstance, be fired in a 223 barrel. The 223 can be fired in a 5.56 barrel. Last but not least, probably the most popular round in the world, hands down, 7.62 by 39, or the 7.62 Soviet. Rimless bottleneck intermediate cartridge, Soviet origin, developed right after World War II. Remained the Soviet standard until the 70s. Early testing, probably in the 40s, led to improvements in about 47. The AK-47 and the SKS is the most popular firearm in the world, hands down. I mean, this can't be argued. There's no point in trying to argue semantics or anything or this, that, the blah. It's the most popular rifle in the world, hands down. It's everywhere across the entire world, even in countries that don't even allow firearms. There's going to be some people with that firearm. It's a very large, heavy round, and really wouldn't want to be hit by it. Most common, 123 grain were the most early common weights. Some are developed in 124 grain. It's a very solid round. Doesn't travel as far as a 5.56 per se, but anywhere in typical operational range, you're gonna get pretty much more damage with that round. Even though the 5.56 is coming considerably hotter, it's most commonly steel-cased ammo, and I know a lot of people have the adage, if you can't run steel, you don't deserve to run brass. Well, some manufacturers recommend you don't run steel through their firearms. I do have a Bear Creek Arms 7.62 by 39 7-inch AR pistol, and they recommended not to run steel in their uppers. Me personally, I prefer brass. I prefer brass 7.62 by 39. I swear by it. I know it's more accurate. The manufacturing specs have to be much tighter. The tolerances, shall I say, have to be much tighter. So I prefer 7.62 by 39 brass over the steel case stuff anyway. I guess if it was a SHIT situation, or SHTF, should I say, steel case, brass case really wouldn't matter as long as you could put something in your firearm and your firearm does function as designed. That would be the most and only important thing. But again, just wanted to do a quick video going over a couple calibers. I did not showcase the 38. I apologize for that. And as you can see, this actually is a rammed cartridge. So there you have it. 22 Magnum, 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 38 Special, 45 ACP, 223, 556, 762 by 39. This is Eberhart Protection, coming at you with another video with some information. Sorry if I made any mistakes. I'm not the smartest guy. I'm still learning as I go. And also, as I said before, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out with the algorithms. And catch you next time.
I'm shining when I ride. You could look me in my eyes, see I got it from the grind. You know I'm always high. I'm talking super fly, you could put me in the sky. I'm shining when I ride. You could look me in my eyes, see I got it from the grind. You know I'm always high. I'm talking super fly, you could put me in the sky. Yo, average, can't do